y'all, it's Hope here at Crafty Hope, and welcome. So if you saw the title of this video, you know that this is, I don't know, I had a really awful day the other day, like really awful. Like everything I did just had a couple of problems. I got my feelings hurt by somebody. I was feeling all in the imposter syndrome, just getting in my head a whole lot. And I knew the next morning when I got up, I needed to journal. So I took this cheap journal, which I've been kind of playing around with. This is from Dollar Tree, and it's old. It's weird because the first couple pages are this craft color, and then the first half of it is the craft color, and then the last section is like a cream colored pages. It's just sitting in my stash, and I thought it would be kind of fun to start playing in. So when I got up this morning, I went ahead and did my journaling, and I took a pencil and journaled both pages, and then journaled on top of that, just writing out my feelings, getting some of that frustration out. And before I'd done that, I realized I had sitting on my desk a list of, at the top of it said words of joy, ? But I've renamed it as words of encouragement, and I've written that down at the bottom. But I knew what I needed was some art therapy, some time in my journal. So I didn't really want those angry, upset words showing. That's why I wrote on top of them. I just needed them out of my body, and I decided I'm gonna art on them. So I put down a couple different colors of some chalk paints because they're fairly opaque, and just get those covered up, and also to test out those chalk paints, because I wasn't even sure if actually one of them I think I had to throw away maybe here recently. I wasn't sure if they were any good, and I was like, oh, they just have to be stirred up. So I made a mess of a paintbrush, got those two colors down, and then decided, where there's still words showing, let's collage. So I've dipped into my scrap stash of papers, and I'm just pulling things out and covering it up, because I knew what I was going to add over the top of this were those words of encouragement. So like I said, I've written those all out, put them in a Google Doc, and I should have that link to that Google Doc of these words. But I'm going to read them all to you in just a minute. And we all have those days. And this is not going to be the prettiest thing I've ever created. I'm not turning that bit of ugly into something gorgeous, but I'm showing that, when you have a real cruddy day, sometimes it's good just to get in a journal and make yourself, remind yourself of how important you are, whether or not you always create something beautiful. If you're not working toward it, you're not going to get any better, I suppose. Not everything has to be beautiful. The Ugly Art Club, with Tiffany, Dee Dee, and Kristen, they always say that, it doesn't have to be beautiful. Just creating some art for the sake of creating art is what's important. And that's exactly what I was kind of feeling today. It was just get the ugly out of my system and get on there. So as you saw, I collaged some stuff down, decided to do a little bit of just doodling on top of it. Grabbed my brown Stabilo Woody. Then I'm going to get a wet paintbrush and just scrub them. I don't know. Just a wet paintbrush, and I'm going to scrub it real hard, that Stabilo, to move that around. And those words are pretty much gone. You can't see those angry words. I'm liking the bits I have down there. But again, for me, this wasn't going to be about it wasn't going to be about the art, the result. And I've got pictures at the end of this, and you're going to see it's not the prettiest thing I've ever. I encourage you to go look at the rest of my playlist. But this was more about telling you that it's important to remember that you're important. So I did spray a couple of infusions sprays. I think I used, oh gosh, the sage maybe, and rusty car. I think those are the two colors I used. And I dried it, that spread mostly, and then came in with my 2 sheets of words of encouragement. I'm just blotting off the excess. And once I get it blotted, I decided, you know what, these are too white. I'm not going to want to put that in my journal. So I grabbed some more of those Paper Artsy infusion sprays. I think just walnut and maybe royal blood. And then I think Green Man. Not that it matters. They're all very grungy. I don't remember what order. I grabbed just a bunch of them. I love those sprays and how they just make things a little bit grungier, and all of them have walnut ink in them. And then, y'all, I took the time to cut out every single one of these phrases, and as I did, I read them as a reminder. These are ones I had picked out several like a week or two ago for another project, and once I started looking for them, I kept finding them and realizing how important these were to me. They're something I think I'm going to come back to over and over again. So as you can see, I cut them all out. I stopped there. I read it. I cut it. So I'm going to stick these down using my fluid matte medium in my journal, kind of going in all different directions, crisscrossing. I'm very much only going to do them on the horizontal or vertical, no diagonals. That's just kind of my style. But I want to read you these words and remind you how important you are in your dreams. And so here we go. The first one is one that has been very important to me because it's something I came up with as a reminder. So I'm going to start with that one, and it is, you get to be here now. You'll never do a whole lot unless you're brave enough to try. Dolly Parton. It is never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Aaron Hansen. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. This is tough, but you're tougher. Be kind to yourself. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Eleanor Roosevelt. But what if you can? To do it, you must go through it. It doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. Confucius. Don't let how you feel make you forget what you deserve. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it. It is only failure if you give up. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. If you never try, you'll never know. It may not be easy, but it will be worth it. Being brave doesn't mean you're not afraid. It just means you try anyway. Great things never come from comfort zones. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Jack Johnson. You can do hard things. The only time you run out of chances is when you stop taking them. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? Dr. Seuss. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. It's the hard that makes it great. Tom Hanks. This is your life. Live it your way. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Confucius. To get somewhere new, you must first decide that you are tired of being where you are. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Helen Keller. Comparison is the thief of joy. You have no control over other people's taste, so focus on staying true to your own. Tim Gunn. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. C.G. Jung. Your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it. Maya Angelou. If you can dream it, you can do it. Walt Disney. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Arthur Ashe. I hope you take all of those words to heart. And if you've got a favorite quote or sentiment or motivation, that thing that goes through your head that keeps you going, please share it with me. I will try to add it to the Google Doc, and that way I'll have it, and anybody that accesses it after I add it will see it also. So you can see this page is, it's interesting. It's got texture because of the different motion. Almost feels like a weaving of these words. And I really like, and I'll show you at the end, I think that because I'm orienting some of them one way and some the another, and some upside down and some right side up, that whenever I open this book, no matter which way I open it and look at it, some of those words are going to pop out at me to remind me that the bad stuff, that stuff I journaled down there at the bottom, it's down there. It's buried. It doesn't have um to influence me. It's these words, these beliefs in myself. Oh, and I found one of those had actually there were two or three of them had some typos in them. I have corrected them for the Google Doc, but that one, it was bothered me, so I went ahead and corrected it and put it down, because I didn't know if it was going to be one of the ones that end up showing or not. So I'm putting the last couple of these down, and I just want you to remember that when you are having a what is that? Awful, terrible, no good, very bad day, that I hope you turn to some of these words and remember that you're worth something. You have worth, and you're important. So let your light shine. I did think about adding some other things over the top of these, like maybe a spot of gold for that shining light, or additional texture with some embroidery floss or something, but I decided that these words were more important, that I needed to see them. I needed to remember that that I matter. So remember that you matter also, and it doesn't have to be beautiful. Just go make something. So thank you for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful, magical, beautiful, crafty day, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.